What's up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Barbecue, and I did a brisket the other day, and I had some point and a little bit of flat left over from that, and I was figuring, you know what, let's go ahead and do some corned beef with this. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it with sandwiches or what I'm going to use it with, but that's what we're going to be making. So pretty much the preparation for corned beef and pastrami are about the same. The difference is corned beef is going to be more of a water-based cook, and pastrami is going to be more of a smoke-based cook. So you'd smoke it, and then you could, if you wanted to, steam it afterwards. One of the difference in preparation is that with pastrami you're going to want to leave a little bit of fat on, so when it's smoking it's not drying out. But with corned beef you're going to want to get as much fat off as possible so it doesn't become gummy. So anyway, what I have here is, like I said, part of a brisket point and flat, and I have all my ingredients. Now I did do a pastrami video, and I'm going to put a link to that video in the iCard above. Just click that little circle up there, and I'm going to put a link in the description. There is a little subtle differences in this. I followed a recipe that a Jewish market had for pastrami on the pastrami video, and the video I'm using, or the ingredients and amounts that I'm using for this corned beef, I got off of a website called AmazingRibs.com. I have my brisket point, a little bit of the point and flat. I have aggressively kind of trimmed that. And this bowl here, what I have is 8 ounces of kosher salt, 2.5 teaspoons of Prague powder number 1. So that's the brand I use. The difference between Prague powder number 1 and Prague powder number 2 is number 1 is typically used for wet cures and number 2 is typically used for dry cures. I have 1 cup of brown sugar, 5 tablespoons of pickling spice, and then I have 5 cloves of garlic that are, I still left the skin on them, but I did kind of mash those down a little bit. So that's kind of what this entire mixture is here. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to my water, and we're going to stir this up until all of the finer, like salts and everything, dissolve. Obviously the pinks or the pickling spice isn't going to dissolve. Once everything's dissolved, we're going to go ahead and throw this brisket in here, and that's going to cover it just perfectly. So now what that's going to do is I'm going to put a lid on it. It's going to go in the refrigerator for anywhere between 7 to 10 days. But if you can't get to it that fast, you do not have to worry about over brining this. This isn't going to over brine it. It can only absorb so much of that. Anyway, what we're going to do is pick this up probably on Saturday, which should, well, next Saturday. It's Sunday today, so we'll pick this up in 6 days and kind of finish up. Here is our brisket. It's been curing for a week, so technically this is corned beef at this point. Now if I wanted to make pastrami, I would take it out to the smoker and smoke it. What I'm going to do on this is I'm going to drain off this liquid and then add some water in there just to pull out a little salt. And I'm not going to have it sitting in that water too long. I'm thinking maybe just a couple hours. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is go cut my hair because it's getting a little unruly. So I'll see you back when I'm done. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to steam this as opposed to boil it. I think you pull out a lot of flavor boiling it. So what I've done is I have a double boiler here, and this part comes out. I have water at the bottom, and I'm just going to go ahead and get that on like a medium high until my internal temp is at about probably 195 on that, maybe 190. Anyway, it's gonna go in for the long haul. We're gonna put the lid on it. See you back in a while. I just probed it, and it looks like we are $197. A few places it's at like 200, so I'm good to go with that. So what I'm gonna do, and actually this steaming method I think is gonna end up being a whole lot better than actually throwing it in water and boiling it. We'll see when it's done. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to throw this in, I'm going to let it cool off, then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and then we'll slice it cold tomorrow. Corned beef is looking like after a day in the refrigerator. What we're going to do though is I'm going to throw it back in the oven at about 200 degrees just to kind of get it loosened up a little bit, and then I'm going to cut this portion off. So we're going to kind of remove this, so this will just be for whatever, and then the bottom part is going to be what we're going to use for just the corned beef slices. And what I'm going to end up doing is making sandwiches. I'm not sure if that's going to be part of this video, but that's what I intend on doing with this. So we're going to cut this pretty thin. It came out of the oven. What I did do was kind of trim a lot of the fat that was between these two portions. Now I'm just going to kind of slice this stuff up thin. Like I said, we're going to be having some sandwiches with it. So here's kind of what we're looking like, just kind of thin slices. As a matter of fact, that looks so good. Let me just go ahead and take a little taste of one of these right now. That is so good. You know what? Here's what we're looking like. I'm going to go ahead and slice this stuff up. I think our taste test is going to be the actual sandwich that we have. So let me finish slicing this up and we'll be back. So we are done with this corned beef, got it all sliced up, even made a sandwich. But here's kind of what we're looking like as far as this corned beef. This stuff is so tender that, you know what, let's take a bite by itself. This corned beef has all the taste of the stuff that you would buy at the store. Not all that salt that you normally have. More subtle flavor. Tender as hell, but you know what? Since I made a sandwich, let's taste this sandwich. Basically the sandwich, I just have some red pepper, jalapenos, some pepper jack cheese, sauerkraut. Anyway, let's just taste it. That is good to go. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. If you like corned beef and you have time to spend 5 to 7 days curing it, this is something like you've never had before. And I'm not bullshitting. Anyway, try it out. Thanks for stopping by No Hippie Barbecue. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.